Hey guys, and welcome to episode 20 of Football Manager 2015 with AC Milan. Join you back into the new season as we embark on our third season in charge here in Milan. It's 27th of August 2016 and we've got the first game of the season at home to Fiorentina to show you guys today, alongside a pre-season recap with transfers and fixtures, of course. Last season was a good season for the club. We finished in second place in the league, just missing out on the title by a point to Roma. But overall, it was a good season. And it meant we got back into the Champions League, which I'm quite excited about. And I'll show you guys now, we have already got our Champions League group. Because for some reason this year, the Serie A is only starting on the 27th of August, which seems quite a far way back, considering a lot of the other leagues have already had at least one game. As you can see, though, we've been drawn a tough group with holders Chelsea, who won it in 2016 on game. Atletico Madrid won it in 2015, which is a bit odd. Well, not odd, but a bit of a surprise. And Red Bull Salzburg and Hamburg, the other two. So it's a tricky group. It's going to be one that we're going to have to fight hard to get out of. But nonetheless, I still think we can do it. Especially based on the transfers we've made, where we've tried to improve the squad where possible. Again, it's really a tale of kind of more outs than ins, as you can see now, with only 5 coming in for 22 million. A lot on the outs, but only for 7.75. Out of these, first whack was on free transfer. Suleiman Tari being the only real recognisable one there going. He's gone to Pauk on a freebie. Simone Verdi went to Cesena for 400k. That was part of the co-ownership stuff. Marco Fossati to Parma for 2 million. Just not good enough. Was on loan the past few years at Serie B clubs. Danny Hachimastur, first he's gone on loan to Livorno again. He's gone out on loan. This time he's at a Serie A club though, at least. Danny Ings has left. 4.9 million to Udinese. Of course he'll be brilliant for Udinese, but he was a shocking buy really when you look back at it. I know it was on a free transfer, so we haven't lost too much, but you know, fairly shocking if you ask me. 23 games in the league, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 goals overall. Not good enough. 4.9 million, decent enough deal. And then just a load of loans. Christopher Aguirre was one of them. Edmund Hotor went to Cremonese. Cremonese for 165k, and Pele went to Lecce for 135k. So they were just, you don't really realise how many people are in the under-20s. Like, look at the under-20s here. So many people, and like the majority of them are pretty shit, to be honest. But under-18s, there's another cartload to get through. Alessandro Ghisleni, he's one to keep an eye out for, right and left back. Looks a very good player. Come through the youth system, so hopefully he can do something for us. But anyway, back to the transfers, because those are the outs. So nothing too big going on. The biggest was Danny Ings leaving, but there wasn't really much in that, to be honest. Podolski and Enriquez, though, have gone back to their original clubs. Enriquez back to Man U. Podolski went back to Arsenal, but I think Arsenal released him. Let's have a look, see where he's at now. Yeah, they released him and he's gone back to Germany with FC Cologne. I was thinking about possibly buying him, but 58 grand a week for a player of that quality I don't think is quite worth it. And he is 31, which kind of slightly goes against my philosophy. Although when you look to the fact that we bought in Andrea Pirlo, maybe not. So we'll go over these two quickly first, because these are the ones that you guys know. Andrea Pirlo has come in for 37-year-old these days. Free transfer though, 80 grand a week, which is a bit, like, his pace is all gone, but his physicals are pretty much all gone, but he's still technically and mentally very good and can probably tutor 1 or 2 youngsters in his time here. And Pavel Savitsky has come in, a bit more young, 22 years old, only 12 grand on the wages, Belarus international. Looks a decent enough buy if you ask me. We've got him tied down to a long-term contracted as well, which I think is exactly what we wanted to do, and that could be a decent enough signing for us. Now, I'm just going to cover this guy first, Bernardo Teixeira, because I didn't actually have any say in this. It was just bought by the youth recruitment people. We brought him in from Boavista for 98k. 17-year-old, doesn't look too bad. Got some okay basic attributes: heading, marking, tackling, all at 12s, determination 19. Pretty slow, but as a centre back, that we could probably get around that. 98k as well, so not much to lose, I suppose. We've brought him in on a 3-year deal, so we possibly might get some profit. He's already up to 335k. He's only on £1 a week, and with the kind of financial position that we're in, again, if we have a look at that quickly, we've got 66 million in the bank at the moment, and projected to make another 100 million. So we've got cash to spend, and that really is pennies for us at only 98k to buy him. So we might as well just take a punt. And the two others are really the two big ones of the transfer window. Two wonder kids on that game. And when in doubt, you go and find. When you're in doubt over a striker, which I kind of was, I wasn't sure what sort of striker I needed. But when in doubt, you do go to Carlos Fierro. 11.75 million was his release clause, but bloody hell, he is well worth it. He has already picked up an injury in pre-season, 3 weeks. But he's back now, but he won't start today. 89% and only 61% match fitness. That's why he won't. Well, bloody hell, the man is an absolute beast. Considering I personally thought on Football Manager 2014 he took a little bit of a dip in his attributes. He was still like pretty much a god, but he didn't quite progress. This year he seems to be back to his normal self. Again, tied him down to a 5-year deal on 60 grand a week, which is a fair bit. As I said, 11.5 million or 11.75 million was the cheapest we could get him for. And actually, I think it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that he had that release clause in his contract, because otherwise I think we could have been paying big bucks. I don't think I would have paid 25 million for him, but I definitely would have paid 11.75 million. And now looking back at it, I probably would have paid 20 million. But at the time, I wasn't too sure about it. But he does look a special player. And the other one, Patrick Roberts, for 10.25 million. Now, I'm really excited about this, because I know he's a wonder kid on this year's game, but I actually haven't been able to use him on any series yet, because I haven't managed Fulham and I haven't bought him. Probably haven't been in the position to buy him before. So I've snapped him up this time of asking, and he looks a terrific player. He is flair based, 18 flair, 16 dribbling, 17 off the ball. He has 4 determination, which is not great. So I suspect even though he is a wonder kid on some series, he will turn into a bit of a flop. But I'm really looking to bring him in under my wing this year, or in this save, and really trying to nurture him as a player. 4-year deal, 23.5 grand a week. It's happy days all round, really, with Roberts. Superb player. He'll get a lot of game time this year, much more than you guys possibly think. But I think it was a decent enough transfer window. We've still got 3 or 4 days. Possibly something could happen. We've got the money to do so. We've got 24 million to spend and 250 grand over on the wage bill. Martin Odegaard. Could we get him? It probably cost an absolute fortune from Feyenoord. You can have a look at those sort of guys. Would I go for any of them? Kimmich is unhappy. Don't know whether I'd go for him though. So I'd have to have a look into that. Maybe I might make a go for one last player, but that remains to be seen. Anyway, apart from that though, the squad is as per last year. We do have a lot of injuries though going into this first game of the season. Ajer, Saponara, Polly, Manoz and Abate all out injured. The only one really though whose first team would be Manoz. He's out for only 9 to 12 days with a pulled hamstring. If you have a look at pre-season, was a bit up and down. We lost to the under-20s 2-1, which was a bit embarrassing. Beat Perugia 2-1. Lost 3-2 to Freiburg, again terrible result. Beat Grosseto 2-1, beat Frankfurt 2-0, and then beat Juventus 4-2. So it was definitely an up and down pre-season, but we go into this game against Fiorentina on the back of that win over Juventus, and I really hope we can push on from here. And yeah, I think we're going to go into the game now. I've covered all I wanted to cover. The team we've gone for today, we've actually slightly tinkered with the tactic, but well, no, this is just a slightly newer version of it. As you can see here, we've got two of them. Like, we could revert back to that at any stage, but this is what we're going for. It's slightly new. It's still kind of along that basis, but instead of a attacking midfielder centre playing behind two strikers, we've got two wingers playing behind one striker. We've got Diego Lopez in goal, back five Yarmolenko, Umtiti, Marlon, Zapata and Desciglio. Neustreuther as a ball-in midfielder with Pirlo as an advanced playmaker, because apparently that's his number one role. Apparently Roberts is actually an inside forward as well. So him and Bonaventura both as inside forwards, and Zivkovic playing up front on his own. As I said before, though, that usually will be Fierro, I think, if when he gets back to fitness. Zivkovic was disappointing last year, if you ask me. I can't remember exactly how many he ended up with, but it wasn't enough. That was my recollection of it. 6 in the league, 8 overall. He developed okay over pre-season, but you know, he's got more in him than he showed last year. So I'm really hoping that this year he might be able to kick on. Although, because if he starts to kick on, then I will revert back to the two striker formation and have him and Fierro up front. The reason I've gone down to a one striker formation is because I don't think the strikers at the club are good enough. Like Fierro, I think is good enough, but the rest of the strikers going to remain to be seen. And Bai Niang is hot and cold. Ings has of course left. Enriquez and Podolski have left. So it's only Bonaventura ball in. No, Neto claims it. So it's Fierro, Zivkovic and Niang, I think, are the only 3 survivors now. From that, Pedro Obiang now. Giuseppe Rossi, who's burned a man there, and he's going on a long mazy run. That was an excellent run, a poor enough finish. Like, those ones never end up going into the back of the net, but a very good run from Rossi nonetheless. Haven't managed to have a shot yet, which is a little bit concerning. Of course, though, like with the actual, with the fact that there's not really not much difference within the two tactics, we can change, of course, at any stage back to the old one, and I actually might do that now at half time. Don't know why we're pumping the ball into the box. Can't remember why I put that on. No, see, that's not working at all. So we're going to change it around completely and play the last year's shape, which was a little bit more possession based. So, who are we going to bring on? We're going to actually bring on Fierro for Zivkovic. Play him as a complete forward support. Zivkovic still as the poacher. Roberts coming off. He didn't have a... what did he play? 6.7. So he had a okay game, but he was kind of the one sacrificed for the fact that Fierro coming on. Like, we could have played Roberts, I suppose, in that deep lying forward role, but I don't think that's really where he's best suited. So I thought it'd probably better to bring on Fierro, although it hasn't really seemed to make much of a difference just yet. And you feel this is a game that we could lose 1-0. It's got kind of the makings of that sort of a result. Not much happening. These games never seem to go my way on this year's game. Oh, Mario Gomez has missed an absolute sitter there. Diego Lopez with a decent enough stop, but I don't know how Gomez has missed from there. It does bemuse me. What else can we do? I'm just trying to think. Nigel de Jong in for Neustreuther, who's had a pretty poor game, 6.4. Not really had the control on midfield. Neither has Pirlo, 6.7. 19 minutes to go. We're going to assertively tell them to push forward a little bit more. Try and go for this winner on the opening day of the season. Although we've been kind of outplayed. Well, not outplayed, but they've kind of shut us out very well today. And but Bonaventura, Zivkovic, what the fuck have you done? That was it. That was the chance on the 89th minute. Rakara Zivkovic blunders a sitter. That was an absolute sitter. He was onside and everything. It's a perfect ball in by Bonaventura, and Zivkovic misses the chance to give us the late winner, and become a bit of a hero. He's on a bit of a goal drought at the moment because he didn't score near the end of last year, and he certainly hasn't looked like scoring today. So maybe that's a little bit of food for thought, but unfortunately, it's been a pretty depressing start to the season, and we've drawn the game 0-0. Zapata with the man of the match, but it's kind of a small, very small achievement within a poor game. So, a little bit disappointed by that. Next episode will be at home to Juventus, actually. That's worked out pretty well. So we've got Palermo away in the league, then Chelsea away in the Champions League. That should be a cracker. Genoa at home in the league, Roma away in the league, the holders, and then Juventus at home. So we've got a tricky start to the season this year, which is actually a bit of a difference from last year, where last year we actually had a very straightforward start to the season. But Fiorentina are no mugs. But I still would have expected to beat them at home. Anyway, not to matter though, we'll just plod along nonetheless. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. I'll see you guys later. Bye.